Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 25 Live Feed Spoilers. We are now at day 76. We are more than 3/4 of our way through this game. Who cares if other seasons of Big Brother have been over at this point? We're still chugging along.
We are still chugging along. We will be here till the wheels fall off.
And you know what? There's actually drama that we get to talk about today. There's a lot going on the live feeds. There's a lot that has gone on through the invisible HOH or invisible HOH week that has played out here.
Yeah. Oh, Jag.
Jag, what? Why? Okay, well, we're gonna get into everything, but first and foremost, thank you to everyone out there who shared all of your birthday wishes. My birthday was on Friday this past weekend. We did a bunch of celebratory stuff. We've got photos over on our Instagram, which is Matt and Jess TV. But thank you so much to everyone who has given us those well wishes. I really, really appreciate it. And also, just be sure to hit that subscribe button because we still have a lot more Big Brother 25 coverage coming. We don't want you guys to miss any of that.
Okay, so there were two veto competitions that played out this weekend, and everybody got to play.
It is the BB multiplicity. That's a really hard word to say, by the way. But okay, so Blue ends up winning the first veto. Blue has won a competition. And then after that, Jag won the second. So those are the two winners, Blue and the secret HOH. So once Blue won, the opportunity really started to present itself for a bigger move because, as we had said in our last video, Jag was targeting Blue, which never felt like that great a move in the first place. But he's been getting annoyed about Corey in America being arrogant in the game, and then also them never really winning competitions other than that one Corey HOH. And we've talked about that as well. This whole we are protecting you guys all this time. What are you doing for us? You're not really doing much of anything.
Yeah, I mean, as a result of the veto, Suri got a costume punishment. So she's dressed as a superhero unitard, which we always get one of those every season anyways. But this time it's a superhero. And oh, my girl Felicia got 24 hours in solitary confinement, which, it's tough to be taken out of the game, especially at this point in the game, to get taken out for such a long period of time.
There's a part of me that always feels like, why are you doing solitary confinement, Big Brother, when we don't get to see somebody interact? But here's the weird thing. Crazy things come out of these solitary confinements.
Like, I know, we saw everything that happened with Dan.
Yes.
I mean, it can come together, but, for the most part, it doesn't.
Yeah, but this time, while Felicia was in solitary, pretty much everybody other than Corey in America were made aware of Jag's plan all of a sudden to potentially go after the two of them. He ends up telling Blue that he is the invisible HOH. So, that's pretty much coming out to everybody. Apologizes for nominating her, tries to throw Corey in America under the bus in the process. And Blue, I mean, we can all question why Blue is so blindly loyal to Jag and Matt as we have over the course of time. Unless she is pretending, she doesn't really seem that mad. It just seemed like she was more happy to be a part of the big move than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, Blue and Jag used to be really close. So, I mean, coming back together, coming back around, maybe she's feeling happy. She's getting nostalgic for the early days of the game.
Yeah, she's got that nostalgia. She's got that appreciation. I know that there were some comments on previous videos that were like, how did all this really happen with Jag and Blue? And it's mostly, this is just my own tinfoil hat thing. I think it's just mostly Jared and Blue being so close to Jared. And then, if you're Jag, do you trust somebody who has told a lot of information to somebody else? It's really complicated. But after Felicia's punishment was over, Jag found her pretty much immediately, and guess what? He gave her a very key, important piece of information. He is the invisible HOH, and that he is going to be saving her and working to split up the showmans. And he's tried to sell her on this idea that he nominated her just because she used him as a pawn in the past. And it is true that Felicia wasn't his target. He was going after Blue, but it's not as though Jag had this entire plan mapped out from day one that he was like, I'm going to be the invisible HOH, but I'm going to completely ruin that by telling every single person under the sun.
Okay, so the veto ceremony. Blue took herself off the block first, which is no surprise to anyone, I'm sure. Then the invisible HOH nominated America. Then Jag removed Felicia, and the invisible HOH then nominated Corey. And I mean, even though Jag is doing a lot right now and telling everybody everything, he's got quite a few wins under his belt right now, and him getting rid of either America or Corey, breaking up that showmance, that's not bad to have on the resume too. I mean, Jag, your guy Jag is really building up his resume. He may not be the best player on the show, but he's making some moves and he's winning some stuff, and we're here.
I think he's at least getting a case together. I think there's going to be an understandable, justified criticism that he was evicted from the game. And because of that, he has to do everything in his power to show I did this, 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 and this. I made the most out of my second chance if he wants to really have an opportunity to do this. Like, I kind of feel personally at this point, it's the right move to get rid of Corey here because of what you just said about the resume. You want to have something like that on there. Also, I think either Jag needs to win out the rest of the way or Jag and Matt need to win out the rest of the way. I think if he's vulnerable, it's kind of like it was with Cameron. And this whole season, if you're seen as too big a target, you don't win something, they're probably just going to get rid of you at that point.
My worry is that Jag, after this, is going to be like, oh, I need to be seen as not of a threat, so, I need to win less, and he's going to end up going home because of that.
Don't do it, Jag. You better not have these conversations again about, should I throw the next HOH? And, he can play the next HOH. Like, that has been confirmed, so doesn't have to worry, at least, about that part of it. Now, we have to talk about Cirie, because this is just hilarious. It's like nothing has even dried yet on the backstabbing, and she has already gone to America and been like, I found out about this last night, but I didn't know if Jag and Matt were telling the truth. Like, she is already schmoozing and trying to pick up America as a number. Cirie, you waste no time.
Yeah, and you need to waste no time. We're really far into the game at this point. You need some allies.
Cirie is, she's been building everything back up. Like, Jared was a pretty big detriment to her game by the end of all of this. And this is why if Cirie does end up winning, I'm not going to be one of those people online that's like, oh, it's unfair because she played Survivor or whatever else. Like, she's had a really tough road as of late, but she has worked her butt off to try to figure out new avenues and get new allies. And who knows if America would actually want to be super loyal to her, but she's already trying. That's the best you can really ask for.
Yeah.
After this move, Corey, he's trying to play this game now where he's sort of, I'm confused by what happened. He's tried to play dumb about not wanting Matt and Jag out at any point, even though he's talked about it. He doesn't want to speak for America or what she would want. So he's trying to already sort of be like, I'm my own person. America is her own person. And it seems like he's trying to do something to keep Bowie Jane on his side. But I think one of his biggest mistakes from the past few weeks is thinking that he had Bowie Jane more than Matt and Jag had Bowie Jane, and that she would help fight for him on some level because, she kind of played dumb with him after the ceremony for, how much she knew, when she knew it, like all of that sort of stuff. This is the thing with Corey, because it's a blanket statement to be like, oh, you spent too much time hanging out with your showmance and you should have checked in with people more. It feels like that's a lazy take, but it's also kind of true. It's not that his head was out of the game. It's just that he didn't consistently work these social connections, I think, as much as he probably should have.
Yes, you always have to be working the social connections. You can't just be in your showmance and that's the end of it.
Okay, so it feels like a foregone conclusion at this point that Corey is going to go, but this is where I think we all have to bust out our tiny violins for one of the great showmance traditions in the history of Big Brother is both people involved in the showmances trying to be like self-sacrificial and woe is me, with America being like, I want you to stay, Corey, and him saying, I care more about you than I do the game. It's so emotional, guys.
It's so ridiculous. Like, you can continue on your relationship
Yes.
outside of the game, like you're fighting for a game. And I really wish it was more of like a listen, we're together and we'll be together outside the game, but right now you need to fight for your life in the game and I need to fight for my life in the game. You choose how you're going to do it. And if it turns out that one of them does it really, really dirty and the other person doesn't like it, then you made that choice to do that, right? Like,
Yes.
you can fight for your life in the game without running the bus over the other person.
And this is the funniest thing to me always about this sort of attitude, because like, even if America, like let's say America goes to every single person in the house and is like, keep Corey, get rid of me. Unless she physically walks out the door herself, and in which case she would be quitting, they're not beholden to do this. Like, they don't have to honor America's wishes if she does demand that of people. They can still be like, okay, great. You know what? You don't really want to be here. We'll just keep you. We'll get rid of Corey, who we think is a much bigger target.
It just feels like what they're really doing is just playing into America, the country, of more so to be like, look at me, I'm willing to sacrifice for this relationship that I'm in. See, it's real. That's what this feels more like. Neither of them are really going to sacrifice their own game to give it to the other person. Really, they may say it and they may kind of like show a little bit, the shell game, but I think when the real comes down, they're gonna fight for their life in the game.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, even if you say it, the perception in the end is just gonna be like, look how loyal these two are to each other, that they were willing to stick for each other. It may be a little bit ridiculous, but you know what? If they were willing to be that loyal to each other, they'll be loyal to me for the one person who ends up staying. Like, this mentality isn't really going to get them anywhere. It's just post veto ceremony moping and all of that sort of stuff. I know they both really love Big Brother, and good for you guys that you found each other. Maybe it'll work out outside the show.
Sure.
I have no idea. I do not follow showmances that closely.
No, I don't either, and
Yeah.
I don't care. Sorry, I'm not trying to be like a jerk about it. Like, I love, but I'm not invested in showmances with this show. I never have been.
No, and that's why, to me, it's more interesting for whoever ends up staying this week. It's probably going to be America, but what happens from there? Like, one thing I will say already that I find potentially entertaining is Corey being like, I don't really want to go scorched earth, and then America basically having zero problem going scorched earth. And this is my message to America: please do this. And it's not because I want Corey to stay over her or anything like that. I just want to be entertained. I'm selfish. At the end of the day, I want arguments, crazy things to go on. America has held herself back at times this season. Just do it. Just have some fun. Why not?
Why not?
Yes.
Because there's a whole bunch of money on the line. That's why not.
Okay, here's the real idea here. Maybe this is tinfoil hat, but you know what? I'm going to say it anyway.
All this prize money, Matt's entertainment.
Okay, you can entertain me and still win some money, America. Here's how you do it. You go scorched earth. You tell a bunch of people off. You make yourself such a pariah in the house that they're all like, America can never win the game because we all hate her now. She was so mean to us. She said all these things. Then you get to the end and you're like, just kidding. I was just being...
How did that work for Paul?
Okay, America, you're better at turning this around than Paul. I want to believe it. I want to believe in that. I think you can own your ridiculousness after the fact. I mean, realistically, I don't know how much of a chance America really has. I mean, I don't think she has gotten enough credit for things with her game. This is the crummy thing about showmances, especially if you're a woman. A lot of the time you don't get the credit that you really do deserve.
100%. Always. It always ends up looking like or perceived to be that the man has carried the woman no matter what the woman has done.
Yeah, and America has done some good things in the game. She hasn't won any competitions. I would be curious to see what her game looks like without Corey. We're probably going to get a chance of that. Like, Corey is starting to pitch, but it's not really that surprising or that shocking a pitch to anybody. It's just basically, I can be more useful to Matt and Jag. I mean, against Matt and Jag in competitions coming up. Like he said this to Sari, and I think Sari probably knows this, but at the same time, we've all watched Big Brother a long time. Some of the competitions at the end of the game aren't necessarily like super, super physical.
Mhm.
There's a lot of mental stuff going on. Like Matt and Jag can still be beat in some aspect without Corey there. And if Corey's winning competitions, like, is that really that good for Sari either?
No, not really.
It's just this is just the situation that we're in. It's like he tried to tell Blue, you know, she would be a bigger target if he leaves because she will be the next best physical competitor after him. And yeah, Jag did put Blue on the block, but Blue's going to think whatever about Jag and Matt at this point. It doesn't really seem to matter what Matt and Jag do in the game.
I still can't believe that we're getting into, the final quarter here and Sari is still in the game.
It's really
wild.
It's so baffling. Like she hasn't been nominated all that much. I mean, yes, she's been on the block, but the only reason she stayed on the block is because she volunteered. Otherwise, they would have taken her off. Like she's that good. She's that persuasive. I think in the speech, if she makes it to final two, like she wins. The only scenario I think Sari might lose in the final two is if she goes there with Matt. And it's just like, if I'm Sari, I'm not going with Matt to the final two. I find a way to get rid of Matt before then.
I think she beats Matt.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I think Matt has, done some, but I think that with Sari being, the legend that she is, bringing her to the end is just a mistake. And she's very likable. And I know Matt has been as well with everybody in the house. I just think that it's you have to have a really stacked resume to be able to sit at the end and bring a Survivor legend with you and beat her.
I think if nothing else, that would clearly be a really interesting final two. Like that would be one that's really hard to predict, really, really exciting. I do want to see your girl Felicia there just so that I can hear Felicia's speech because I feel like it would be incredible.
I think so too.
Okay, so the last real thing to talk about here does pertain to Felicia, who, she is already trying to convince Jag and Matt moving forward because Jag can play in the next stage HOH. Just go ahead, nominate America because America is going to be going after him hard after all of this. She is going to want her revenge after. Okay, here's the thing with all of it. And I think this is going to be the entertaining thing with Felicia and Sari. They've been on the block a number of times. They're an obvious duo. They have managed to get out of situations already. How long are they going to be able to keep this up where they're just like, don't look here. We're not the big threats in the house. You want to get rid of this person or that person. There's not a lot of people left.
No, there's not, but they have done an excellent job of being on the block and being able to get out of it. I mean, yeah, competition wins is something that obviously people look at, but you can win this game without really winning anything. And being able to use that in your speech at the end to be like, listen, I was a target the whole time. I was on the block a bunch. I did, this and this. I was able to get out of it. My social game is a 10 out of 10. It's just, there's a lot to be said for that. If they can keep getting out of it, and get to the end, that's a win.
This is going to be a really fun next few days. We'll get to see if Corey or America really fall on their own sword. And if neither one of them do, how does everybody plan for the future? Where does America land? Like this, campaign-wise, maybe it won't be that interesting because I don't know off the top of my head how Corey figures out a way to stay this week. I have been wrong many times this season. I will couch it by saying that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of flip-flopping.
Yeah, there could still be a lot of flip-flopping, but this is going to be an interesting week, and I'm excited to see where things go. Good on you, Jag. You made a move. Who knows if it will work? You just got to win a lot of competitions.
Yeah, for sure. But he made the right move. This is the right move.
All right. Well, before we wrap things up here, be sure hit that subscribe button. Also, over on our Patreon, we have a link for that in the description below. We are going live tonight to discuss all things Big Brother. These are really, really fun. We love chatting with you guys on Patreon, so we highly suggest you check that out.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys here next time.